Well, everyone gets excited about the budget speech, but the funny thing about the budget speech is it's not what's in the speech itself that's really important. It's more what the Treasurer doesn't say. For example, the Treasurer got up tonight and said in 2020 Australians have been tested like never before. Flood, drought, fires and a global pandemic. So many Australians, through no fault of their own, are doing it tough. But of course, he doesn't mean that it's not Australians' fault, even though it's not. He means it's not the government's fault that they've just racked up the biggest deficit that anyone can ever remember just after promising to return the budget to surplus. And in case you'd forgotten about it, he comes back to it later on. He says, through no fault of their own, millions of small and medium-sized businesses have faced lockdowns and restrictions. And again, the government is saying, this is not our fault. In fact, this is nobody's fault, except possibly Dan Andrews. Then he talks about the bushfires, and not too much, of course, because we don't want to mention that. This is a government that wants to focus on the crisis that it didn't screw up. And he says, our local heroes, the healthcare workers on the front line, just as our volunteer firefighters did over summer, are showing us the way. Well, I think we all remember when one firefighter in particular did show the government the way. In fact, he told them exactly where to go. And then we get to the politics, and this is really, really interesting. He says, our plan is guided by our values. Really? Not quite. It sounds to me like the budget plan is actually guided pretty much by Labor values, but good on them for picking them up and running with them, because it's what everyone says we need. And just in case you're in any doubt about that, he says in this budget there is record funding for hospitals, schools, childcare, aged care and disability services. Does that sound like a Liberal budget to you? I don't think so. But again, how nice for them to put politics aside. And besides, if the Liberals are introducing a Labor budget, there's no point voting Labor anyway. Everybody wins.